صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وبحب إمام القائم صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
سورة الفاتحة. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي لا يضر الحمد لله الذي الحمد لله الذي الحمد لله الذي لا يبلغ مدحته القائلون ولا يحصي نعماءه العادون، الذي لا يدرك بعد الهمم ولا يناله غوص الفطن، الذي ليس له صفته حد محدود ولا نعت موجود ولا وقت ممدود ولا عجل ممدود. أما بعد، صلى الله على سيدنا مولانا حبيب إله العالمين وخاتم النبيين أبو القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وعلى من هو عند الرسول أخي وابن عمي ووسي ووارثي وموضع سري أبو الحسنين مولى القونين إمام الثقلين يعصب الدين رئيس الموحدين قائد الغر المحجلين والسيد المتقين أمير المؤمنين علي بن أبي طالب.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
وصلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا ابن رسول الله، يا رحمة الله الواسعة، يا باب نجاة الأمة، يا عبرة لكل مؤمن ومؤمنات، يا غريب يا مظلوم كربلاء. فيا ليتني يا ليتني كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، قال الله الحكيم في محكم كتابه الكريم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ادعوا إلى سبيل ربك بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة وجادلهم بالتي هي ما أحسن. صدق الله العلي العظيم. صلوات. السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Have you ever heard someone say to you that the religion of Islam is backwards, uncivilized, and belonging to a different time, whereas now life has moved on, we are more advanced with science and technology, and we have no such need for such an ancient religion? Have you heard this phrase before? This idea that Islam, the deen of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, the deen of Quran, the deen that you have grown up listening to and learning about in the madrasa and the mimbar, that religion belongs to a backwards time, and times have changed. Well, this idea indeed became more widespread about 400 to 500 years ago, and then since then rapidly it has intensified. The moment we went through an era in the world called the Enlightenment period, we reached a stage where people decided their reason was more important than their religion. So whereas before, the church and later on the mosque or the temple were the authority in society, where whatever they say you follow, now it became, well, what does your reason tell you? What does your aql say to you? This is hujjah upon you. This is a proof upon you. And religion is nothing except culture or language or art, but it's not moral authority anymore. The only moral authority is my reason. This idea spread when? At the time of the French Revolution. This is the product of modernism. Okay, but you might ask yourself, that's modernism. What's happened in the last 400 years from then until now? Let's see. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. From that time until now, reason in the Western world has produced many institutions, government, courts, democracy, universities. All of these social and political institutions come from the idea that insan should use their reason instead of following their religion. This is where they come from. Slavery, colonialism, all of these things. The postmodernists say we need to dismantle all of these institutions from where reason has gone wrong. For example, they'll say the Supreme Court in America is filled with patriarchy, with male domination, so we must reform it. The police is inherently problematic, so we defund the police. The government or the church or any of these things are in themselves bad and corrupt. Postmodernism then is a tool to dismantle that which has been made from reason. And actually, we agree with some of these points. Postmodernism is not some qat'an evil thing. It's when it's applied in the wrong way, it becomes problematic. Even we say that the police in America is institutionally racist. We'll say a similar thing in this country as well. We'll say that why are we being stopped and searched so much for the color of our skin? Why when a Muslim or a person coming from Islam comes to immigration, it's harder for them to get papers than people of other faiths sometimes? Why is this system built to not give us our rights? We'll agree with them. But the place where we depart is when they say religion has nothing to do with your rationality. Only in the West do you find rationality. Here's where we disagree with them. Their whole claim is that Islam is not about aql, it's about culture, it's about history, it's about, a different time. And we argue the bunyad of Islam is reason. The foundation of Islam is your aql. You cannot know this religion unless you are in touch and using your rationality in your life. And so today I would like to show that look at what they say about us and look at what we say about ourselves. They say, if you want to follow a rational path, you can't have religion as the central authority in your life. And we say, not only you can have religion, but the aql, the reason of Ali bin Abi Talib is worth more than the reason of any of their philosophers, any of their thinkers, any of their universities. The rationality of Ahl al-Bayt is afdal to any reason of any time. Now, to reach that point, we have to go through a number of steps, and it begins by me asking all of you to recite with me بِحُبَّ فَاطِمَةَ الزَّهْرَاء صَلُّوا عَلَى مُحَمَّدٍ وَآلِ مُحَمَّدٍ. Okay, reason, aql, in Islam is the foundation. A person who reads the Quran will frequently find in the Quran criticism of those who don't use their mind. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ أَفَلَا تَفَكَّرُونَ. Do they not use their mind? Do they not have iman? Do they not have yaqeen? Do they not do tafakkur? Do they not ponder? It's like the mind and whatever comes with aql, it's constantly being questioned in the Quran. Those of you who were here yesterday, I mentioned it. There are some verses of the Quran which Imam Sajjad, Imam Zainul Abedin alayhi salam, remember I said, he says, these verses are not for you in front of me. They are for those people who will come after in Akhir al-Zaman, who will have a greater level of ilm and ma'rifat. They know these verses, the beginning of Surah Al-Hadid. The idea is this: the Quran shows to us your reason, your aql is the basis of this deen. More than that, the Quran does not rate or give credence to anyone who refuses to follow their reason. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. About some people, lahum qulubun la yafqahuna biha. There are some people whose hearts are no longer understanding. These people are what? Summun bukmun umyun. Either they are blind, or they are deaf, or they are mute. Their whole being, their whole dhat has become muted because they're not using their mind and their reason anymore. And everyone has their own had of reason. Someone might ask you, okay, Islam is based on reason, critical thinking, being honest with your mind, applying your mind to things, not just following emotions. Okay, but why? Why so much focus on reason in this religion? Let's go to a narration from Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. The Imam says that aql wal shahwat wa dhiddan. Your reason and your desires are at opposition with one another. There is a conflict between them. Your aql wa shahwat. وَمُعَيِّدَ الْعَقْلِ عِلْمٍ. And the thing which helps your reason is gaining knowledge. وَمُعَيِّدَ الْشَهَوَاتِ حَوَى. And the thing which helps your desires is your passions that you follow. And Imam Ali says, read salawat ala Muhammad. Some beautiful Jawan have just entered. I'll mention the narration from the beginning again. Imam Ali says, aql wa shahwat are at a conflict. They're fighting one another. The thing which helps aql is ilm. Gaining knowledge helps your reason. But the thing which helps your desires is submitting to hawa. Whatever desires that your heart, that your desires go towards. Then he says, whichever of these two will win the heart, they will win your soul. They'll win you. The winner of this battle. So, in the heart of the battle is your aql. It is as if Allah is saying, if you want success in this world and you want to defeat any enemy, you must begin with the ability of your rationality. All good deeds go back to our aql as well. A person can't do a good deed in this world without their reason being part of the acceptance of that good deed. What do I mean? We have a principle. At the heart of all of our usul al-fiqh is the principle of husn wa qub aqli. It's a dense point, but it needs to be said. Husn wa qub, good and bad, are rational things. That means then, if a person is in an island, they have no prophet, no book, for example, Islam has made right and wrong as such that even if no one came to tell them what's right and wrong, they should rationally figure out murder is wrong, killing is wrong, honesty is good, following a leader is good, following evil is bad. These things, they don't need someone to tell them. Rationally, they should come to their own conclusion. There is good and bad in this world. Husn khub aqli. And there should be a rational understanding of all the halal and haram that we do. Also, it means all of your good deeds and bad deeds are measured according to your level of ilm. Give you an example. In front of you, let's say there's a bottle. Bottle has clear liquid. It looks like it's water. It's sold like it's water. It has the appearance of water. It smells like water. A person opens and drinks it, it's alcohol. They had no idea. Did they intend to drink alcohol? Well, no, they didn't know. How could they know it was alcohol? It looked just like water. Okay, on them, do they have the sin for drinking alcohol? No, they didn't know, and they couldn't have known. Even if that alcohol has some takwini effect on their jism, because sins can affect our body, that's possible, they don't get the reward of someone who tried to act against Allah and drink alcohol. Okay, now look at someone. They come and they go to a pub. They stand at the counter. They give their money. They're given a drink. They drink the drink. It turns out to be alcohol. Okay, same drink, same liquid, literally the same thing being done. One person had ilm, one person had no ilm. For one person thawab, for not thawab, for one person it's allowed, one person it's haram. Okay, let's go one step further. A person wants to buy alcohol. He goes to the news license, the off license. He pays money. He goes to the alcohol lab. He takes the bottle. He brings it home. He drinks it. Turns out it was actually water. It wasn't alcohol. What happens to him? He wanted it to be alcohol. He bought it thinking it's alcohol. He intended alcohol. Turns out it was water. Some ulama say the strength of his niyat alone gives him the sin of drinking the alcohol. because that's what he wanted, even though it wasn't even alcohol. Now compare the first and the third. A person drinks alcohol without ilm it's alcohol, no problem. A person drinks water thinking it's alcohol, on him there's a sin. Your ilm is the ma'yar for the acceptance of your deeds. If I intend, it becomes a sin. If I don't intend, and it's reasonable not to intend, I might not even get a sin for something which turns out to have been haram for me. That's why Amir al-Mu'mineen says, don't look at the size of the sin you are doing, look at the one against whom you're sinning. Don't look at the smallness of what you think a sin is. Look at how great the one against the one is whom you're sinning against. Okay, I think now we have a good foundation. Ilm is the basis of this religion. Aql and the use of reason is the basis of this religion as well. And as we have from our sixth Imam, ilm is something Allah provides, not me going to a book provides. He says, true ilm is nur min Allah. God gives ilm to whomsoever He wishes. Okay, now come to all of those people who criticize us and say our religion has nothing to do with rationality and reason and tafakkur, and if you want true knowledge, go to universities, don't go to Ahl Bayt or Quran. Let's think about those people. Why do they say this? The reason why they say this against us and why they say Islam has no place in your life now is because the basis of all thought in the Western world is philosophy. And the basis of all philosophy is Western philosophy, is the ancient Greek philosophers. And the ancient king of all ancient Greek philosophers is Socrates. From Socrates, who we call in our books, comes the idea that you must use your reason for all things which are considered good. Because they start from there, they think that all rationality comes from where they have gained ilm from ancient Greek, and not from, for example, the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why do they think this? I'll continue if you give me Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Socrates, ancient Greek philosopher, lives thousands of years ago. His style of teaching is as follows. Socrates would go through society not teaching in one place, moving from place to place. Sometimes he'll speak and he'll criticize something. Sometimes he'll continue. Wherever he goes, his method is just questioning. Why are you worshipping this idol? Why do you do this practice? Why are you going towards this custom on this day? Why? Wherever he goes, he questions. For example, why do you follow ancient Greek gods? Why do you think they exist? Why do you follow customs which have no basis in rationality? This came to be called the Socratic method. What's the method? Questioning, asking. And Western philosophers in the French Revolution said the place where we learn questioning is from Socrates. We learn from him how to question. Okay. Socrates then gets arrested for his crimes. The Hukumat of the time arrest him. And the charges they give to him, they say to him, is you have been misguiding the youth. Everywhere you go, a crowd of people follow you, and they follow and listen to everything that you say. And because they listen, you're misguiding them, so we put you in prison and we'll give you the saza of maut. You're going to be killed for opening the minds of the youth. So when he's in prison, facing death the next day, one of his companions, Crito, comes to him and says to him, listen, you're my teacher, you're my ustad, I'll free you from this place. I can take you right now, this evening, I'll escape death from you. Come with me. I'll take your son far away from here. Socrates answers that according to the laws of the custom in which I live, I have broken their laws. Even though you think I'm right, according to their laws, they're right. I have misguided their youth. I have taken them away from their deities. I have given them more rationality. I have made them critical. And so no, I would rather have death according to their laws than live the life of a coward. The next day, Socrates, before the hukum comes, he eats poison. I think hemlock. Yeah, he eats poison himself and he kills himself to show to the people, I would rather die on my own terms than die according to your laws. Okay. All of Western philosophy praises Socrates for this act. He was a man who opened the minds of the people, gave amazing students like Plato, Aristotle, and because of him we can question now. And then they say to us Muslims, your Islam is not rational because we come from a tradition of rationality, you come from your culture. we will answer to them. First of all, our Islam has as its bunyad more rationality than their faith. And we'll say the reason why. We have a man like Ali bin Abi Talib. No one had aql like Ali. Bring any Socrates, none of them can face one Ali. I'll give you one example why Ali is greater than Socrates and how we answer them when they say we're not backwards, we're not advanced enough. Give you an example. Socrates would rather die according to living under the hukumat of his time, yeah? What does he do? Night before his death, he eats poison, he kills himself. They say what? Socrates was so great. On one occasion, before death, he's willing to risk his life for his beliefs. When? Only once. Now come to Ali bin Abi Talib. How many times does Ali risk his life for the religion of Islam? Go to Badr, go to Uhud, go to Khandaq, go to Khaybar, go to Hunayn, go to Tabuk. Whichever battle you go to, this is the one man from childhood until death. He always puts his life on the line for this religion. Not only battles, go to the night of Mi'raj, when there are swords surrounding his bed, and the Prophet says, Ya Ali, I need to go on the Hijrah, I need to go on a journey, and I need someone I trust to risk their life for me. And Ali says, Ya Rasulullah, is my sleeping on this bed going to save your life? He says, yes, Ya Ali. Remember, he sleeps. They said to him many years later, Ya Ali, what was that night like when Rasulullah goes on Hijrah and you lay down on the bed? Did you sleep? Ali says, not only I slept, I have never slept a more peaceful sleep than that night when Rasulullah goes on the journey of Hijrah. Never have I slept. Ya. They praise one philosopher for laying down his life once for his cause. Ali from childhood till death plays with death. He plays the game with death. It follows him, but he moves away from it. He says in Nahj Balagha, death to me is like a shadow. It comes near and I go far from it until the time for my death comes. One more reason. Why is Ali greater than Socrates? Have you heard the name of George Jordak? George Jordak, a great Christian Lebanese thinker. He says, I have written a book about Ali bin Abi Talib. They say to him, you're a Christian. You're not even Muslim, but you've written the most popular book in Arabic about Ali bin Abi Talib. Why? He says the following words, I'm a Christian, I follow Jesus, but when I read about Ali bin Abi Talib and the way he lived and died, I see in Ali the same thing I see in Jesus as a Christian. Ali has in him the same nur. Didn't the Prophet say on Khaybar, Ya Ali, and you are like to me like Harun to Musa, except there's no Prophet after you. And I would speak more, except that I am worried the people will treat you like the Christians treated Isa. He's a Christian, only 30-40 years ago, saying, I see in Ali a jhalak of the nur I see in Isa. So he writes a book, Ali, the Voice of Human Justice. 3 chapters. The 3rd chapter is called Ali and Socrates. And in that book, George Jordak writes, of all the philosophies of Socrates, none come close to Ali when he says, Fustu bi Rabbil Ka'bah. Many Sunnis saw this and said to him, okay, you're a Christian, you've written about Ali, good. Now it's time for you to write about other people. You wrote about the 4th, now write about the 1st Khalifa, 2nd, 3rd. Don't just write about Ali. And this Christian replies to them, who's he? A Christian. Now that I have found Ali as a Christian, I have found no one in this world, not from 1, 2 or 3, more worth writing about except this Ali on this earth. Yeah. This religion is built on these principles. Socrates will give you human values, Ali gives you ilahi values. All of the world is going back and saying we need to question like Socrates. What's Socrates' method? Why? Asking. There are many who ask, but there is only one man in history who says, Saluni qabla an tafqaduni. Ask me before you lose me. Everyone's asking, one man says, I will answer. So when they say to us, why don't you follow aql al-mashayikh? Say to them, bring me one man from any of your philosophies who says, ask me before you lose me. Do you know in our history, Imam Ali didn't just say this line once. I've looked through the books. There are so many times in his life, Ali says these words, I can't even count them to give you